Good evening, the Guyanese critic here, and I have with me an individual we will only refer to as the informant. He is actually the informant who made the police aware of who Isaiah and Joel Henry's murderers were. You will hear from him in his own words how he learned of the murder, or who were the murderers of Joel and Isaiah Henry, how the police became aware who those murderers were, and why he did what he did. For reasons of security to him and family, he's backing the camera. I know I'm looking at an individual here. I just spoke to him in detail about the story, his experiences, and I will now ask straight questions. For security reasons, names will not be used, just the suspects in the murder of Joel and Isaiah Henry, and where some information was gathered, and what information of that, how the police become aware of who the suspects were. Good evening, and thank you for being transparent, since this has caused a lot of controversy in Guyana as it relates to the brutal murders of Isaiah and Joel Henry. I must thank you for doing this. First, I would like to ask, was money the motivator in you reaching out to the police when you learned that somebody close to you had murdered or played a part in murdering Joel and Isaiah Henry?
Well, when I hear this information, when I get to hear the story, I was at a place where Akash Singh and his mother and one of his sister was at. I saw his stepfather.
Well, the first question before you go into it, ask, was money the motivator? Is money you're looking for, or because I know there was supposed to be a reward for this, but was it money you were looking for, or you learned of the money after? Was money the reason that you come out with this story?
I never know there was any reward. I never know about any money or any other thing. And when the story happened, when I finished give the information to the police and whatsoever, I was learned that there was a reward for you. Is me. I never looking for money, or never. I just want the family of this two guy to know that who is the murderer and whatsoever.
Okay. Can you detail for us where this all began? Was the first time you realized that somebody you know and were close to had played a part in murdering Joel and Isaiah Henry, and how did you become aware of that?
Well, I was at a place with family members of the guy, of the two brothers, Akash Singh and Santara. His mother, his stepfather, one of his sister, and also Akash was there. And he was having a conversation, and I am known to the family. And the guy tell me, the sister tell me how the two brothers them involved in the murder that happened in Bordeaux. The Joel and Isaiah Henry. And as she started to tell me, the parents was right there, the mother and the stepfather and Akash, and me, his friend, saw.
Did you find it strange that they chose to tell you such something that, you know,
No, I
could have a
remember.
negative effect on their life?
Well, remember they know me. They know me a good time. They know I was there wrong. I used to go by them. There's nothing strange that they may know me or just somebody that they gonna tell something. They know me. They know everything about me. After they tell me, after the sister telling me, then the mother telling me, then Akash telling me how the story transpired, how the story happened, and so forth. When I go home, after listening to the story, when I go home, I make contact with the police at Iveri. And after finish make contact with the police at Iveri, this is how Akash Singh was arrested.
But there were a series of events before Akash would have been arrested. Can you go a little bit into detail between the first time you learned of Akash Singh playing a role in the Henry Boy's murder and him being arrested? A number of events happened between that time. Could you elaborate a little on that? What transpired?
Well, after Akash Singh explained to me and tell me that how the story happened in Borbies and that they chop up the man, he tell me how they was planting ganja and Joel and Isaiah just go by them camp in Borbies. I can't remember exactly if it was Yakasari background this thing happened. Right? Can't remember if it was Yakasari. But I know he indicated to me that his sister living in Blackbush, Pola. And he tell me Vinod Gopal lived in Yakasari. Right? So Anil Sanchara met Vinod Gopal in prison now when Vinod Gopal, the murder his father. There is the time them meet in prison. So he tell me after them planting this ganja, Joel and Isaiah just go and thief them ganja. And after they go and thief them ganja, now them catch up Joel and Isaiah and then warn them about the ganja. And these guys carry the police by one of the ganja farm and the police burn down the ganja farm. All this happened in Borbies. And after they say, they get angry, the children get angry. I was looking for Joel and Isaiah. And he tell me that as they was walking a day and they see Joel and Isaiah was coming through the track. Akash tell me he, along with Anil Sanchara and Vinod Gopal, all three of them, they then chop the man up, chop the two cousins, right? They chop Joel and Isaiah up. And Akash tell me he was the one to put the X on the forehead, right? Along, he tell me that Anil, Sanchara and Vinod Gopal, they all three of them chop the men them.
Is it normal for you to refer people with their whole names? Is it normal? You seem to know the individuals by name. Is it as a result of you're listening to court stories, or you're listening to the news? Because normally people say Anil, Vinod, and so on. You refer to people as their full name. Is it normal? You refer to people as their full name?
Well, Akash, I know you by Akash, right? The sing, me, is when the story happened, then I know he sing, but I know he all the time that to me is Akash. And Anil Sanchar, I know is Anil from all the time since I know he, Anil Sanchar, I know he from all the time, I know he got another name, they was Kali Dampol. Everybody know he as Dampol.
So he's referred to them as that?
Anyone name is Kali, another is Kali Dampol. I use him Kali Sanchara, because in prison everybody know he as Sanchara. Anybody that do jail with Anil know he as Sanchara, most people is Kali by a last name. In prison.
Okay.
So everybody know he as Sanchara.
At any time you are friends and known to these individuals, right? At any time would you have played a role in planting marijuana with them or doing anything to the effect that is criminal with them?
I never get myself involved in, criminality activity with Anil Sanchara or Akash Singh.
Have you ever personally had yourself in any problem with the police?
Yes,
Okay.
a minor offense.
Okay. You were told in the presence of the parents of, what is the guy's name again?
Akash Singh.
Akash Singh. You were told of a crime that he committed. Did it seem, it didn't at the time seem strange to you that this would come out just in a normal conversation, or there was some sort of remorse? Why would someone just say that I killed this body, or it didn't come out like that? Did you press for something? How really? I'm trying to get an understanding of how exactly, because it sounds very simple, and I think for clarity people need to understand how was it just a casual conversation? He said, oh, I killed them by, was it a big enough? Was he under the influence of alcohol? I'm just trying to get an understanding there. Just help me out there with some clarity.
No, he wasn't under the influence of alcohol, and after they tell me, after this, me and the sister was girlfriend, she didn't want she husband or nobody to know nothing, right? She was even hiding it from she husband. So after me, she was girlfriend, she know that we good, right? And I tell she because Anil Sanchara had a problem with a guy in Zilot, some narcotic matter, where they say that gunman frequent Anil Sanchara parents' house looking for Anil Sanchara, and because of that Anil Sanchara moved to Borbies. And after a while, this small brother, he also gone to Borbies, because I known to these individuals and the parents. I frequent the village. Everybody know me.
When you reached out to the police, you said in our discussion before this recording, you said they asked you for proof. What form of proof did you give the police, and how did that happen? Evidence. They needed proof that yes, this is what the guy said. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Can you speak to that?
Well, as how these people tell me or explain to me, I recorded it. I recorded this whatever conversation.
What was the device used for?
A phone.
A cell phone?
A cell phone.
And after you learned of this first, you reached out to the police. I'm trying to get a sequence of events. So you reach out to the police, tell them what you learned of. Did you use your cell phone, or did the police give you a phone?
Well, the police buy a phone for me. The very first time this thing happened was at a discussion with me and the sister alone.
And you reached out to the police?
Yes.
Then they gave you a phone?
The police buy a phone for me. The very same day that the police buy this phone, I went back to the sister. And she was now we were having a conversation. Nobody never bring up back the topic about the murder or whatsoever. And she would be, after we was talking, and I tell she, man, that I didn't really want to get Anil. I tell she, even if I got go with a car to Borbies to move Anil, I can do that. Because remember earlier she discussed to me about the story that Anil and Akash Singh. So I tell she, I said, man, if I could get a car to move Anil from where he there to carry by a hideout, a secret place. So she was agreed she agreed that wherever he carry Anil is to elude Anil from the police.
You explained to her you will get or help Anil to hide,
Yes.
which you were fully well aware you were helping the police.
Yes.
Okay.
And also helping a criminal is an next charge.
Did you record this conversation with her? With the cell phone? Can you remember if you recorded the conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Did you record any conversations with Anil? Did you meet Anil and record any conversations with him?
No, I met Akash.
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 You met Akash?
Yeah, this is his small brother.
Okay. And you recorded a conversation with him?
Yes.
What would that conversation have entailed? What the conversation was about?
Well, the conversation was about how the crime happened and what caused the crime to happen. Because you see, in Barbados there was a lot of roadblocks and protests and I think this country was in a state of misery. Understand? So I just tell myself like, you know, innocent people get charged or innocent people get framed for something that they don't know about. So I say, man, that it's right for me to allow the people or let the public know the information that I get, I use it, I share it with the police. And I know that later on the public will get to know, and I do this for the family of Isaiah and Joel. They must know that who did it, because it could be something that happened to me family. And someone who ever knew or hear would have come forward with information also.
After making the recordings, you then took back the recordings to the police?
Yes.
Were the police satisfied? Did they tell you anything when you met senior police officers, you gave them the phone, they take off the recording? Were they satisfied with what they were hearing on the cell phone?
Yeah, well, they say how whatever they hear on the phone, well, now it's time to get the individual.
And how did that happen? Can you explain?
Well, they arrest the individual at Zilot.
Okay. And what was the series of events after that?
Well, after the arrest, they took me and the individual to.
You were also arrested too?
Yes.
Okay.
I was traversing with the individual, Akash Singh.
Uh-huh.
So the arrest me, I was there. They took me to Ivlery, CIA headquarters, where an investigation was launched into the matter.
Were you there at any time when they were questioning the suspect?
Well, until they carried at CIA headquarters, then they was questioning both of us. Asked us about different crime. And then they brought forward the murder story. I denied because I had no knowledge. And I saw Akash Singh was cooperating with the police.
Did you hear him tell them anything?
Yes, I hear when he said he was talking that, well, you know, he talked a piece of the story. And then they took him to an interview. He said that how is he and Anil and Gopal did the matter, they did the murder. And when the police was questioning him, I even hear when he said that he was the one that marked the X on the forehead.
Any idea why that would be of significance? It seems that the X on the forehead is some kind of significance. Is it a gang mark of some sort?
Well, when I asked Akash Singh, he tell me it's a revenge because after they was farming this ganja and then these guys make the ganja farm burn down, they carry molasses. Probably I don't know if there was any boss they working with or they was planting this ganja for themselves. remember at the set time I put the question, or I did not want to question or ask asking anything above the limit. I was just listening to his conversation as how the conversation go about.
At what time in this investigation did you learn that there were some monetary gains that had a reward? Could you remember?
Well, after after we went at CID headquarters after the arrest, well, I didn't give no statement at the station at the CID headquarters, or I was just put in a cell. And when I say cell, it's not really a lock-up cell. You know, that is a bright place, a open out place, a clean place.
A room by yourself?
A room by itself, but just that it's a bar. And while I was going home, down the same night, when I was going home, then I have learned about a reward.
What do you mean you're going on? The police was dropping you home? The police was dropping you off? Wait, Lord. So a police tell you of this, or somebody, you hear it in the news, how you know that there would have been a reward?
Well, a police explained to me that there is a reward for this information that you have given us, and this information is useful to us.
Did Anil is the young man's name, the suspect's name? Akash.
Akash is his
Akash.
smaller brother.
Did he at any time tell you anything after? Did he realize that you're the person that basically, what we say, skin him up?
Well, he tell me when he was at the outpost at Touche, he tell me how I tell the police about him.
So he was aware
Yes.
that you are the individual told the police what he told you.
Yes, remember he's a big person, you understand? Must be the ID, the sense.
At any time, did the police or members of the CID investigation department ask you to say specific things? Did you've given a statement? Have you given a statement so far?
No.
No statement.
No.
But even before coming to this interview, you are in contact with the police? Are you? Does the police call you from time to time to find out what is going on with you and these kind of things? Are you in contact with the police?
Well, nobody. For the past, nobody never called me and asked me how I did, if I did safe, or if I eaten, or whatever the case may be.
Okay. So what really I'm trying to find out, has the police at any time given you information, specific information about this crime, the gruesome murder of Joel and Isaiah Henry? Has the police given you any information? Or it is a case where all the time you have been given the police information?
Well, after I learned about the murder and learned about the perpetrator, I give the information to the police.
No, but has the police ever tell you, we want you to say this, or we want you to say it like this? Any?
No, nobody never tells me nothing.
This is your free will. You decided, as you said, you wanted the parents of
Joel and Isaiah Henry to know who is the real murderer for the two guys there.
Do you have children?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
Construction work.
Construction.
And due to this story, I can't work. I can't do anything. I've been indoor all the time. I trying to get little help from other people just to survive. Because these individuals already learned that I am the person that make them get arrested.
You feel as a result of what you have done, your life is under threat?
Yes. I received threat from the sister of Anil and Akash.
The same sister that told you first about
Yes.
what transpired?
Yes.
What were those threats like?
She told me that when she brought them come out, they gonna kill me. Because I make them reach in jail. I then called a senior official of the CID headquarters and nothing was done. Nothing was done. Nobody never called me and asked me how is everything. If you feel your life is under danger or you feel safe or nobody never called me and asked me nothing.
Have you received the reward?
No.
Have you been informed or told when you will receive the reward?
No. I was informed that the reward is in process. That is how I've been informed.
In learning of this murder, and this is very important, I want you to think long and hard about this. In these discussions, do you think this my sister and Akash is his name?
Yes.
Akash, in what they told you, do you think it was a talk-up thing or they genuinely knew and committed this act? Could you have sensed that they genuinely played a part in this? Because nothing is talk up, In Guyana, everybody's talk up and big up themselves and so. Do you think this was genuinely committed by Akash and his brother?
Well, when I learn about the information, when I get the information from the sister, she was even trying to call the next sister in Borbies to get a weir out of Anil. But let me get a contact with Anil.
At the time you learned of this, Anil was still in Barbados.
Yeah, but he moved out from here he was. He moved out. But nobody never know because I can't tell you none of them I get contact with Anil. They don't know what part he take. Like they don't know if you hide or what you do. There is what the sister them tell me, the mother tell me that.
Can you, at any time, did you have or were told of any details of how this murder occurred?
Well, as I tell you, Akash tell me that was the conversation, how we was talking, how the matter occurred. The matter occurred because of the ganja.
No, but did he go into any details about killing the Henry boys? I know you said he accepted that he chopped him in an X in his head, one of the Henry boys. Did he go into any details? Where they go down a dam, where they catch them, how they chop them, how they move them?
They catch them in a dam, Not far from the ganja farm, but what they tell me how the park with them kill this boy, where them chop up this guy, he said they burn the place.
Did he speak of how the bodies were removed from that spot?
Well, he said he didn't carry the body. He said he didn't move the body from where they murdered because the Anil and Vinod, he wanted the body to move and go where the family could see it. But he said how he not do that because he don't do what he got to do. He ain't care nobody no way.
Did you feel any way, knowing that somebody you know personally had committed such a serious crime at that time? Was there a chilling effect? How did you feel about what you were hearing?
Well, remember now, murder is a serious thing. right? And when I learn about this information, I tell myself that I could keep this information to myself. But what will happen if the police know that I knew or I get the information and I didn't share it? Sometimes I would be one of the person to charge with accessory to murder, and the first thing they will say, you got knowledge about this crime, and I hide this crime. Then if me even know now that this guy was one of the person, and let me say if I be carried by me, and the police get it down to this investigation and know. And let me say the police will come by me and find this guy. I gotta go with them too. So after learning about this, I decide to let the police know what.
How, as a result of you becoming police informant, how has that affected your family?
Well, after giving this information to the police, and this information, the Sanchara family get to know about this information. Remember this, I never tell no family members about this thing that happened. I just keep it to myself. Because if I should tell family members, remember these people gonna keep panicking and fear for their life more than what happened. Because me, I fear for my life. Remember, I have a family.
Do you live at the same place you used to live at when you informed police of this?
No, I can't live there anymore.
You're fearful to live there?
Yes. Because if these guys, Anil and the brother, allow the next guy to know, if they kill two guys like that, now let me say I the person responsible for these guys to get up or could be in incarceration for this murder. You feel that one day they come out and everybody know prison break this happened, people escape from prison and think if something like that will happen, we're going to become me and the family. Just as how they kill these two guys, they could come and kill me, or they could kill a family member to me, they could kill my children. No one knows who they gonna kill. Police don't deal with matter in the court, they say court got deal with the matter. People could be dismissed, people could be jailed, sentenced, whatsoever. I don't know, I can't say. Nobody, no police never call me and ask me by if you're okay, how you're living, how you been, that since that you give this information, how you feeling. Nobody never asked me nothing. I even feel like the police just do what they have to do, and you know that my life left in the problem now, in the danger. But people might say all sorts of things, that you do this for money or you do this for not or whatever the case may be. But I was never learned or I was never know about any reward concerning this matter until after the arrest was made, right? And this whatever money they say they're giving out, I didn't do nothing for money. I do it for the family of Isaiah and Joel Henry to know who do this.
You felt compelled. You feel
yeah, because I feel the family must get justice. It could happen to anybody. The family must get justice. And I guarantee the family get justice. If God said that there's not the two guys, or there's not the three person that do it, and they get free, well, probably God know the best. But based on what I have learned, or based on what Akasin told me, can he even tell me he said this thing haunting him? He even tell me he said this thing haunting him? what you asking the police for? For seeing how they could deal with the matter and just still security wise. That me walking since the story happened, this incident happened. I think it's 7th of January this year. We're July month already. Me walking, me doing nothing. There's assistance I get in from people. And I never relay my story to nobody or tell them what I did. I always keep it to myself. Until I feel that nothing is doing for me. Because I'm suffering. You understand? I'm suffering.
Do you feel like you've made a mistake in giving the police this information?
Well, I would say no. Because this life. And the family must know what's going on. The family of Isaiah and Joel must know what's going on. And if God said, or if it happened that I got to go like that, or these people will come out and kill me, I rather it happen. But let the family know what exactly transpired.
I want to thank you for being honest and frank about this. And I'm hoping that the Guyana Police Force could find it in the heart to deliver to you. I'm hoping that you could move on with your life because you, in what you're saying, have done a great good. At least there's the intention to do a great good in making people aware of what transpired. And I'm hoping things could become better for you.
Well, so at one time, I made contact with Mr. Smith, Big Smith, because I was seeing that nothing doing for me and I was suffering, I was hungry, and nobody knows what I do. I have kids, and things come to me like commit suicide because me getting help from nobody. I can't go work because as how the incident go back to as how the information go back to the killer them and the killer family. I can't move free. It's not like I don't get free world anymore. I got a hiding, ducking, running. There's not me. I just walk all over. I just walk how far I feel like for boys go. I can't do it anymore. I gotta be indoor all the time. They just like if I get in prison. So I make contact with Mr. Smith and he was having an interview. I tell him how I feel and what I feel.
There's when an article was published that the informant did not get his reward.
Yes. Because I make attempt for me to several people and I was torn down. Several high official people, ministers, etc. Try to make contact with the police of commissioner. A lot of people know. Even I even tried to make contact with the president of this country and I didn't get a chance. This body, the body keep promising that I'm gonna call you, collect your number, I'm gonna call you, nobody never call.
I'm hoping in you doing this interview and this becoming public and people having a better understanding of the situation you have found yourself in by going to the police and telling them what you know. I'm hoping that you'll find some bit of resolve, you will get a solution to this problem that you have found yourself in.
Okay.
Right? Thanks once again for coming and giving this interview. For those of you who've tuned in, the Guyanese critic would have just covered and we refer to this individual sitting here for reasons of his own security and his family's security as the informant. This is the individual who made the Guyana Police Force aware, or members of the CID crime unit aware of what he was told that led to arrests in the murder of Joel and Isaiah Henry. Thank you.